Namaste. This is David Hawthorne at astroview.com. Today is the 25th of June 2015. The following is the Vedic astrology reading for a young woman who unfortunately just passed away yesterday. She had stage 4 cervical cancer, and it spread to the chest and then pelvis. She's been battling this cancer for at least 2 years. So as a case study, we see that in the first house, she had the 12th sign of the zodiac ascending or rising at 23 degrees 10 minutes of Pisces. She had moon in Pisces at 21 degrees 49 minutes. In the second house, she had the first sign Aries with Saturn retrograde at 25 degrees 45 minutes. Third house, second sign Taurus. Fourth house, third sign Gemini. Fifth house, fourth sign Cancer. Sixth house, fifth sign Leo. Seventh house, sixth sign Virgo. This is Ketu, Ketu, the southern node of the moon in Leo at 6 degrees. And this is Mars at 20 degrees 7 minutes in Virgo. In the eighth house, we have the seventh sign Libra, and this is Sun, Venus, and Jupiter. Sun at 24 degrees 34 minutes. Venus is retrograde at 23 degrees 48 minutes. Jupiter's at 23 degrees 22 minutes. In the ninth house, we have the eighth sign Scorpio, and this is Mercury at 3 degrees 8 minutes. 10th house, the ninth sign Sagittarius. 11th house, the 10th sign Capricorn. 12th house, 11th sign Aquarius. This is Rahu, R-A-H-U, the northern node of the moon. Now, when we apply the systems approach to interpreting horoscopes, as developed by Professor V.K. Chaudhry of India, we say that of these 12 houses, 9 are favorable. The first, second, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, 9th, 10th, and 11th are favorable houses. Planets going into the favorable houses are considered well placed. But for every horoscope, 3 houses are not favorable. These are the 6th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house. In any chart, we have to be careful. Planets going into the 6th house, the 8th house, or the 12th house automatically become weak. And planets ruling the 6th, 8th, or 12th house can become a functional malefic planet if that house contains a Multracone sign. Every planet has an exaltation sign. Every planet has a debilitation sign. The second highest dignity to exaltation is called Multracone sign. Then you have your own sign. So the Multracone signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. 1 for Aries for Mars, 4 for Cancer for the Moon, 5 for Leo for the Sun, 6 for Mercury, for Virgo, for Mercury, 7th is Libra for Venus, 9 is Sagittarius for Jupiter, and 11 is Aquarius for Saturn. So anytime you look at any chart, you start with a rising sign, and then you want to know the rising sign degree. This is not an arbitrary number. It's very specific to the exact time of birth. In this case, it's 23 degrees. This degree changes every 4 minutes. So ascendants usually last about 2 hours, rising sign. We read the chart from the rising sign. This represents a person's name, fame, health, appearance, reputation, and longevity. We read everything from the rising sign, including the transits. So when you're looking at a chart, you look to the ascendant helps to set up the functional nature of the planets. And it changes for each rising sign. Every planet has a functional nature. For one chart, Saturn will be a malefic. For another chart, it will never cause harm. It will be a benefic. And it has to do with the position of the Multracone signs. So in this case, the number 5, this is for Pisces. All Pisces have the same issue. The number 5 falls in the 6th house. So Sun can cause adverse effects. It'll bring 6th house issues, mental tension, health issues, financial issues, legal issues. So Sun is a functional malefic for Pisces rising sign. Number 7 is the Multricone sign for Venus. So Venus can bring 8th house significations. 8th house is called Randara, so it's transformations, vulnerability, accidents, setbacks, delays, obstructions, disappointments, and death-like experiences. And in the 12th house we have the 11th sign. This is the Multricone sign for Saturn. So Saturn for Pisces becomes a functional malefic planet and can cause adverse effects, including losses, expenses, depression, separation, isolation, imprisonment, hospitalization, and end of life. So Pisces do have a challenging chart because Sun, Venus, and Saturn can cause adverse effects either in the natal chart or in the transit chart. This is the chart at the time of birth. This is the chart and where the planets are currently. Now for Pisces we say that the Multricone sign for Mars, Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter are in favorable houses. So that means Mars will never cause a dreaded Kuja dosha or any problem for Pisces. Moon will never cause trouble for Pisces. It rules the 5th house of children, mind, education. Mercury will never cause trouble because Mercury rules the 7th house of relationships. And Jupiter will never cause trouble because it rules the 10th house of karma in career and professional life. Now this ascending degree is called most effective point of every house, and any planet within 5 degrees of that, so it starts about 18 degrees, it goes up to 28 degrees, will be considered to be on the most effective point, and its influence will be felt in the house it occupies and any houses it aspects. So this moon in the 1st house gave her great beauty, very beautiful young woman, a lot of light coming from her. This is a royal planet in the 1st house, royal moon. And moon in Pisces makes one very, very tender-hearted, very sensitive, very empathetic, very compassionate, and very creative. This is a royal planet in the 1st house. And it's exactly opposite Mars, within 1 degree. So they do influence each other, and it's a positive influence. This Mars influence on Moon gave her a lot of courage, a lot of energy. Also gave her freckles. So Moon and Mars in this chart are both favorable, and they're both close to the rising sign degree. So they bless the houses they occupy and the houses they aspect, and every planet casts an aspect opposite where it sits. So Moon also brought a good influence into the 7th house of relationships, and Mars brought a lot of courage to her. Mars also aspects 4 houses away and 8 houses away in addition to 7 houses away. Mars influences her 10th house of career. She was very courageous and direct in her career. And Mars influences her 2nd house. She was very courageous and direct with her speech. Mercury ruling the house of marriage is in the house of good fortune, divine grace. It's a little bit on the weak side. It's also the 9th house, which can be connected with long-distance journeys or foreign lands. It was a marriage with somebody from another country. Now, the rest of the chart really gets into trouble. And this is why a person can expire, can pass away at such a young age, 44. Now, if Rahu and Ketu We're close to a rising sign degree. This is the north and south nodes of the moon, mathematical ecliptic points that cause the eclipse of the sun and the moon. So we have to watch them. If they are within 5 degrees of the rising sign degree, it causes trouble. They're not. And they do aspect 5, 7, and 9 houses away. So Rahu throws an influence here, here, and here. But there's nothing at 6 degrees or within 5 degrees of that. So this Rahu is not bothering Jupiter, Venus, or Sun. K2 aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away, and it's about 19 degrees from Saturn. So Rahu and K2, although badly placed, are not afflicting any houses, signs, or planets. That's not where the trouble came in. Here's where the trouble came in truckloads. Sun is a functional malefic planet ruling the 6th house. Look at the degrees. It's 24 degrees. The ascendant is 23 degrees. So Sun is technically afflicting this 8th house of death. Sun rules the 6th house of health, and it's in the 8th house of death, and it's in its debilitation sign. And Sun is only 1 degree from Venus, and Venus rules the 8th house. Venus for Pisces becomes known as most malefic planet of all. So these two, Sun and Venus, are technically in a planetary war. You have your 6th ruler and your 8th ruler in close conjunction. And they are exactly on top of Jupiter. Jupiter rules Pisces, but the Multricone sign for Jupiter is Sagittarius. Jupiter is a favorable planet for Pisces, but in this case it's in the 8th house of death. It's afflicted by the 8th ruler, and it's afflicted by the 5th ruler of health issues. So there was probably a good chance that the problem was with the liver and the gallbladder to begin with. Now here's the real crushing blow, and that happens to be Saturn sitting opposite. Saturn rules his 12th house, so it's a functional malefic planet. It is close to the rising sign degree, so it's afflicting the house it occupies and the houses it aspects. And Saturn throws an aspect 3 houses away, 7 houses away, and 10 houses away. So Saturn is afflicting the house opposite. So the whole house is afflicted by Saturn, but Saturn also afflicts directly the Sun at 24 degrees, directly afflicts Venus at 23 degrees, and directly afflicts Jupiter at 23 degrees. 12th house, 12th ruler, end of life, hospitalization, afflicting these planets. And vice versa. Sun is afflicting Saturn, and Venus is afflicting Saturn. Jupiter's trying to help, but he cannot give much help. How can he give help? He's in the 8th house of death. He's afflicted by the 6th ruler and the 8th ruler, and he's afflicted by the 12th ruler. This was very, very serious. Always has been, always will be. Very difficult situation. Saturn is also known as Ayush Karaka, significator for longevity, and Saturn is in its debilitation sign of Aries. And Venus ruling the 8th house becomes Ayush Karaka. 8th house is longevity as well. It's Ayushtan, the house of longevity. So the ruler of the house of longevity is afflicted by the Sun and afflicted by the Saturn, the 6th and 12th rulers. So as luck would have it, the 3 functional malefic planets are in close affliction with each other. This is rare. I've done 12,000 charts. I've never seen this before. So a very beautiful woman. Moon in the 1st house. Moon rules this 5th house of children. This brought her 3 children. 3 beautiful children. So this part was fine. Rahu and K2 fine. Mercury a bit weak. But the real problem is this conjunction here. This issue with the 6th, 8th, and 12th rulers. And we see that she ran her Surya Mahadasha, her sun main period, from April 2008 to April 2014. And it was during this time that she came down with cancer, most likely in the K2 subperiod, or more likely in the Venus subperiod. I think they said they've been fighting with this for 2 years. Sun, Venus, functional malefic. Sun, most malefic Venus. Then she entered Moon. So some thought, oh, maybe Moon can save. Maybe Moon would be better for her. So yeah, Moon is well placed. And Moon's house is not afflicted. And that's where the Navamsha chart comes in, the 1/9 divisional chart. When you read the divisional charts, you read them just like you do a regular chart. And they have functional malefic planets as well, but it's always based on the ascendant. So this is a Capricorn rising sign here. There's no Multricone sign in the 6th house. It does contain the Multricone sign for Sun in the 8th and Jupiter in the 12th. So Sun and Jupiter become malefic planets for this chart, for any Capricorn. And look at Sun, Jupiter, and K2 are afflicting Venus in this chart. And Jupiter aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away. And so Jupiter here is afflicting this Moon. So Moon becomes weak. There's not much protection. K2 also aspects 5, 7, and 9 houses away, so K2 is also afflicting the Moon. So Jupiter ruling the 12th house and K2, a functional malefic planet, are afflicting this Moon. So Moon loses its power. And Sun rules this 8th house, Ayushtan, the house of longevity, and Sun is afflicted by K2 and afflicted by Jupiter. And Jupiter rules the 12th house, end of life, and it's afflicted by Sun, ruling the 8th house of death. So this is also a complicated situation. And Rahu here is also afflicting Venus, Jupiter, and Sun. The current operating planet has been Mars. Mars started in February, runs until September. Mars doesn't have much protection because it's ruled by a weak Mercury. This is the transit chart. So this Mars is ruled by Mercury, and look at this Saturn. Saturn right now, which is a malefic planet, is retrograde at 5 degrees in Scorpio. So take this Saturn, put him in Scorpio. So this Saturn is sitting right on top of Mercury, and this is a long-lived transit. This started a couple of months ago. This will actually go for another 2 or 3 months. So this affliction of Saturn on Mercury is undermining the strength of Mars. This is transit Jupiter, slow moving, and recently under the affliction of Venus, the most malefic planet, applying to Jupiter. Venus has been transiting the most effective point, so 23 degrees. So I think this transit of Venus was not good, going over her most effective point and afflicting the sign of Cancer ruled by the Moon, and afflicting transit Jupiter. This is the transit chart. So those are the main points. This is very, very serious, where you have 3 functional malefic planets in planetary war with each other and afflicting Jupiter. So this was a very beautiful woman, very great soul, very great friend. So we're very sorry to see her pass, but we know that just means that she has completed her karma. So now she goes to Brahma Loka, the abode of the gods. So she'd be in the Pure Land. She's in bliss. She's Mother Divine. Namaste.